Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Pro-XRP attorney John Deaton has pointed out effectively the degree to which what's going on with the SEC and Ripple, the degree to which it's a rigged system. I mean, he's shared a ton of his opinion. I've been using my platform to share his thoughts with everybody that's willing to listen. But he had another one. It's just a short thought, and I wanted to share it with you. And it's just like these types of things, when you get to thinking about them, it's like if you're not scratching your head, then you're beginning to feel your blood boil. And what it comes down to, frankly, is the elites, the people in power, like, they don't freaking care. Do you think anybody at the SEC cares that all sorts of retail investors, investments in XRP just like vanished like Kaiser Soze from the Unusual Suspects? Do you think that anyone at the SEC gives a damn? You know, it wasn't, as far as the legal filings, but let me mention this too, as far as the legal filings in the SEC versus Ripple, it wasn't until several days or so ago, whatever day it was, that Ripple filed their the legal document called The Answer, which was just in a response to all of the allegations, literally every single allegation that the SEC made against Ripple. That legal document, it wasn't until that legal document that any entity involved with this expressed concern about the retail investor. I mean, maybe there have been some tweets here and there that it's just not entering my mind. But as far as actual legal documents, no, nobody had talked about this. So I'm not surprised it was Ripple that first acknowledged this. But the SEC doesn't care, and so it just brings into question this bigger idea of what the hell is happening from a regulatory perspective with the SEC. I've got comments from Mark Cuban on just that, and I'm going to be sharing it with you. And just, you know, I'll just go there. I'm going to get into the content because I don't want my initial thoughts to go too long, because there's a lot to talk about here, frankly. But I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I just enjoy talking about these topics as an enthusiast in the world of crypto and XRP in particular, and I run this channel purely as a hobby. And so here's a tweet from John Deaton. In 2015, Ripple gets fined and enters a consent agreement for violating AML/KYC rules over XRP sales to Roger Ver, and settles with FinCEN and Department of Justice over selling virtual currency, but 5 years later gets sued by the SEC claiming those same sales were securities. And then he writes, but this is okay? And he points down to this maybe it's technically called a meme. And I looked at this and I was like, well, that's interesting. And I did go ahead and fact check it, which I'm going to share with you in just a second. And so it was a tweet from Roger Ver. This is his official Twitter account. He tweeted this out to 624,000 followers. And on the left side, and I'm not making a political statement, by the way. I don't care if you're on the left or the right. If there's, sometimes it's like, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, perhaps it's a duck. Maybe it's not, but it probably is, right? And so I don't care if you're on the left or the right. I am not making any sort of political statement. That's not what this channel is about. And actually it was kind of interesting with all the Wall Street's bets stuff going on, and GameStop stock just flying to the moon effectively. The damn chart looked like a crypto chart. It was just fascinating to see both the left and the right agreeing that this does not effectively pass the smell test. And I agree, it doesn't pass the damn smell test. And so you can see here, it shows Nancy Pelosi on the left, and it says date, January 24th, 2021, Nancy buys 1.25 million in Tesla stock. And then on the right, it shows President Joe Biden, and it's dated 1/25/21, so January 25th. Joe signs executive order for all federal vehicles, I'll just make full screen, to be electric vehicles. And so you see that, and I can understand people would emotionally respond. Now, the way my brain works, because I thought, wow, if that's true, that's horrendous. And so I went ahead and just checked on Snopes here, and their response is that it's a mixture. I don't know that I would have quite labeled it like that, because here's the nuts and bolts of it. They had the date wrong. It wasn't January 24th. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but the purchase was, there was a purchase of Tesla stock. It was between $500,000 and $1 million. From a legal perspective, they're not required to state the specific dollar amount. So it was between $500,000 to $1 million in Tesla stock. And it was on December 22nd. It was not on January 24th. And it was also by Nancy Pelosi's husband. Not she didn't actually do it herself. Now, even Snopes here acknowledged, though, as far as the ethical considerations of this go, it's just as severe as if she had made the purchase herself, because you can see she's going to be heavily involved in terms of having an influence on what happens legislatively and whether or not Tesla might benefit. So, whether it's December 22nd, and it was, or it's January 24th, which again, that was not the case, to me, it doesn't matter what the date is. You still have the same problem, right? And so there are a number of inaccuracies here, but you still have the same ethical problem, right? And it's not just them. I mean, and then you look at this and you see there's this article from Yahoo Finance, and now, look at this as a result of all this. What do you know? Tesla gets lofty $1,200 price target as fireworks not over. And I meant to check the price right before recording this, but I think it was somewhere around it was like $700 or $800. So practically, they're expecting it to practically double here. Does it pass the smell test? And then as far as the SEC, my gosh, let me give a shout out to All the Way 08, who tagged me in what I'm about to read to you. But it was Mark Cuban. There was an Ask Me Anything session. He's talking about the SEC. And this article talked about the Ask Me Anything session, but they did not include anything about the SEC, which to me was kind of a missed opportunity. But the headline here was Mark Cuban talks Bitcoin hodlers and blockchain stocks in recent AMA. I would say All the Way 08 found the most interesting of things having to do with this. And I want to share this with you. In light of what the SEC is doing with Ripple, I thought you might find this perspective intriguing, to say the least. And so there was a question on this Ask Me Anything. How do you think the SEC will respond to the GME situation? So that's GameStop. New regulations on retail trading, ? And Mark Cuban wrote the following. And my gosh, it's like, I know he's not talking about XRP here, but this is what we're dealing with, right? And so I know you guys are going to be like, hell yes, that's exactly the problem that we're encountering as I'm reading through this. Check this out. So from Mark Cuban. The SEC is a mess. I wouldn't trust them to do the right thing ever. It's an agency built by and for lawyers to be lawyers and win cases rather than do the right thing. If the SEC gave an S word about anyone other than Wall Street, you would be able to go there right now and read bright line guidelines about insider trading, shorting, what is a pump and dump, what are the rules for cutting off the purchase of stocks, like happened with GME et al. So let me pause right there. Does that not sound kind of similar to the uncertainty that we have within the crypto asset class? Does it not sound strikingly similar? Because nobody knows how the hell to properly behave. Like, frankly, every company, blockchain company that's operating in the space in the United States today is at tremendous risk as a result of this. And so here's the rest of what he had to say. But they won't. They would rather litigate to regulate, which means they love to sue people in order to create new legal precedents. Bam! Exactly. Isn't that what we've been talking about with SEC versus Ripple? They're setting precedents in order to regulate rather than actually regulating. That's insane and awful, because you're crushing people. Like all the XRP holders that have been devastated by this. It's repulsive. And they don't even give a damn. And so you see the impropriety. And then again, this is me not trying to make some sort of political statement. The Pelosi's did something that the optics don't look good. They don't look good. You've got all the stuff that's happening with Wall Street bets. You can see the game is rigged. The pausing of trading of GameStop, and except for if you're a hedge fund, then you can continue to purchase. But if you're just the retail speculator, then it and it wasn't just Robinhood that stopped it too. It was TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. They did as well. Like, you're eroding what little confidence remains in these institutions here, right? And so Mark Cuban wrapped up by stating, all you need to know about the SEC and how badly they want to F the little guy is that they have the option of using judges that work for the SEC when they sue you, rather than you have the option to have jury of your peers in front of a judge that is independent. That's how bad the SEC is. If you want fair markets that doesn't benefit Wall Street, call your local politician and show them this. And that's kind of what we're working with. Oh, good times. Here's a tweet from Anthony Pompliano. Reminder, Wall Street hedge funds running to the exchanges to halt trading to prevent losses is another example of why the game has always been rigged in favor of the elites. When you lose, it is okay, but when they lose, the game is turned off. That's what it... Seriously, if there's not some sort of intent there, like, this is the most horrifically coincidental thing that there possibly could be. Like, on this top, like, I don't know. And look, and if there ends up being some legit rationale for this, but I can't buy it because, look, take a look at this. Here's this piece from Decrypt. Robinhood CEO unintentionally makes the case for DeFi. And so in this piece, they actually go on to cite Robinhood temporarily halted users from buying popular stocks such as GameStop and AMC, as Reddit using day traders drove up trading volumes and prices hit record high. And so they go on to talk about, there being cash flow issues as a result of all of this trading. And I'm sitting there thinking, how the hell can you be a trading platform if that type of activity results in you having cash flow issues? How can you get certified to serve? And then you're okay to let people cash out though. That's not a problem though. Okay. Oh, this reeks to high heaven, guys. Look, you know me, I am not a conspiracy theory guy, but does this not seem like about the most blatant case of impropriety that you could think of in X number of years? Literally, it's 1, 2, 5, 10, on this topic specifically. I can't think of anything else. And it looks like it's being done in broad daylight, and their half-assed excuses don't ring true to me. Even if the cash flow issue were true, we've got even bigger problems. So what the hell is this crap? And this is what we're working with here. So in the end, as far as it pertains to XRP specifically, it doesn't mean that we're going to get bad law passed. Like, I don't want to go I'm not going to go off the rails and being like the system is so rigged that we can't have justice within the United States, which is why it was interesting. I hadn't seen anyone else make this point that Mark Cuban made as far as judges that work for the SEC. That's who you have to deal with, to F the little guy, as he put it. I'm not aware of that being the case as far as what's happening specifically with Ripple. If that's the case, I literally just hadn't seen that cited, in which case I'd be like, okay, what the hell's going on here? So I don't think that's the case. I think that I would have heard that from a lawyer at some point, and this is Mark Cuban. So I don't know for sure. But I'd say I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic for, justice to be done in the case of the SEC versus Ripple here. And it's so crystal clear that the SEC, I don't think that they believe that they have a strong position, because they weren't even requesting declaration of XRP to be found by a judge to be a security, which means that the judge couldn't declare it to be a security until, in Ripple's response, they requested, and actually, which is effectively demanding, and they'll get it, regulatory clarity of XRP, whether or not it's a security. So we're going to get that, unless there's some sort of settlement, which could happen, but I'm less confident in that at this point. So, I still think more likely than not, justice will probably be done here, but it doesn't change the fact that there are all sorts of people operating within this system, which I think it's pretty clear to see. Like this is not some sort of wacky out there position. I think the typical person in this instance, with Wall Street bets and all this stuff, I think that they do believe that this looks rigged and there's a certain high level of impropriety that needs to be addressed. This is not a fringe opinion. Normally when there's all sorts of claims like this and insider stuff, this or that, unless the optics are so clear or there's actual evidence, I back off. I'm just like, okay, maybe, I don't know. That's my stance, because I just want to believe whatever's true, but sometimes things can look so wacky, you just have to be like, okay, fine, I am highly skeptical, you better prove me wrong, right? Which is pretty much where I am at this point. So I don't technically know for sure, fine, but this looks bad, right? It looks pretty damn bad here. So, I don't know, I'd love to hear what you guys think on this topic. Like, I find the unfolding all of this, so much of it's absolutely terrible, but it's also interesting, at least, I suppose. But would love to hear what you think in the comment section below, but I will go ahead and stop there for now. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Mambo.